Hi guys, thanks for coming back to the chopping block. I watched a video recently where somebody was advising that people should keep their home defense weapons in a cruiser ready state. Their fear was that the floating firing pin on an AR or an AK or a shotgun could set off the primer if the weapon was dropped. Now I think that a cruiser ready state is a dumb idea for other reasons. We'll get into that in a minute, but I want to test whether it's even possible to set off a round in the way that they described. So what I've done is I've created what amount to blank rounds, actually really primer only rounds. I pulled the bullet, dumped out the powder on a 5.56 round and a 7.62 by 39 round, and I took a 12 gauge round and I cut off the plastic hull part so that there's only the brass bottom portion and the primer. We're going to load those up because primers are pretty loud and they'll go off and we will know if the weapon could have fired. That's not the result I expected. Okay, so I didn't expect that. Let's put a nice thick steel plate down there to make sure that the shotgun gets something really solid to stop against. Again, no dent on the primer. Okay, so I don't know how well you could see that on the video, but there was no indentation on the primer. Let's try it again with an AR. There you go. Just a tiniest little ding. Okay, again, no indentation on the primer. AKs also have a floating firing pin, so let's give that a shot. Okay. Well, again, I know it's hard to see, but there's virtually nothing on that primer. Alright, big surprise there. No indentation on the firing pin. What that means is that these weapons would not have fired in those conditions. If you're unsure what a floating firing pin is a firing pin that isn't held in place by any sort of spring or firing pin safety like on, say, a Glock. That means that theoretically, if the weapon was moving fast enough forward, as in the direction that they were dropped, the inertia of the firing pin inside the rifle could come forward and impact the primer. So why didn't that happen? Well, they weren't moving anywhere fast enough. If you think about it, the velocity that it can be moving as it falls over a span of 3 or 4 feet is far less than the velocity that the bolt would be moving when you chamber a round on a semi-automatic AR, AK, or even a self-loading shotgun. That means that the speed that the firing pin's going at, the inertia that the firing pin has when you chamber a round, doesn't set off a round, so it certainly isn't going to set off a round when you drop it. Now that doesn't mean that you couldn't have a weapon that has a faulty sear. In that case, if the rifle or shotgun is broken, then a drop could certainly set it off. But that's an unsafe firearm for other reasons. Normally, firearms don't go off when they're dropped like we see in the movies. But I mentioned earlier that I think that it's stupid to keep a home defense weapon in a cruiser-ready state for other reasons. The main reason is that if you have it in a cruiser-ready state and you need that weapon, you have to chamber a round. Chambering a round can make some noise. And people will argue that that noise may scare off an intruder, and they're absolutely right. It might do that. Or it might scare them into dumping the magazine of their high point through your daughter's bedroom wall. I firmly believe that we should never rely on psychology to defend our family from grievous bodily harm or death. That we should rely on physics and physiology. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions on how I should have done things differently, or if you disagree with my conclusions, leave them in the comments below. As always, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that stuff really helps out the channel a great deal. If you'd like to help my channel grow, share the video on social media and in the forums and all that. Have a great day, guys.
You got